Parents handing out compacts to other parents? Can you see the power in that? The next communication-related indicator will segue us into the education segment of the compact. Teachers are familiar with the curriculum of the home, what parents can do at home to support their children's learning, and discuss it with them. We again recognize the expectation of ongoing two-way communication. It also implies that some form of training or education component on what the compact includes and how the responsibilities within it can be fulfilled is in order. That is the focus of Part 2, Education. Let's wrap this part up with several examples of ways schools have been successful at maintaining open, ongoing, two-way communication. Pencils ready. Lots of great ideas are ahead.
We have our principal, number one, has the open door policy where our parents are able to come in and discuss any concerns or issues they may have concerning the school as a whole. As far as teachers are concerned, the parents are able to come in first thing in the morning before classes start and meet with the teachers and talk with teachers about issues or concerns. Sometimes the parents are able to set up appointments to talk to teachers if we can't accommodate or meet their needs during or after before school. Also, we do have a calendar that goes out once a month that let parents know about all the activities that we're having for the month. We do have emails that the parents can communicate with the teachers on their concerns. We also talk about grades and things of that issue through email. And then we also have a parent team here. And the parents, the coordinator of that program is usually here throughout the mornings. And he's here and he addresses issues with our parents as they come in. Another thing we have here, activity we have here is the parent book club on Wednesdays. Every third Wednesday of the month, we have a young lady who comes out and she meets with the parents and she introduces new books to the parents. And each parent walks away with a book to start a home library with their child at home. So that's another fun activity we have here. And along with some of the other activities we have, reading night, math nights, and things of that nature. So we have a lot of ways that we communicate with our parents here at Officer.
And we're getting pretty excited because last year we started to use email to communicate with parents so that what we're talking about are active parents that can come to the meetings and be part of the discussion, but that there's a group of people that want to be involved but can't. So the email is one way. And now I'm on Facebook. And so really our goal is for 2011 to sort of branch out and use social media because that's what we're talking about. So we're really talking about having active members but maybe virtual members as well.
I mean, and as a communication tool, I would say most of our families have, we can update them on things coming up instantly.
Yeah.
Not even waiting for them to have to go home and check their computer.
Because they have it on their
phone.
Yeah.
Well, the nice thing about that communication that is so instant is getting the needs out. Something needs to be collated. Something needs to be stapled. A small group needs to meet to make a decision that we don't have to do in our big group meeting. So people who can't always be available at all times.
And there's different levels that parents can be involved in too. They can come to all the meetings and they can be active in all the decision making and all that kind of stuff, which we do have that core group that does it. But then there's also those outlets for the parents that don't have that much time, but still want to be there for a small piece of it. And it makes the kids feel great too. My mom made those cupcakes.
Yeah, right.
And,
It's an investment.
the last snow day that we had, our assistant superintendent does the personal message, and she encouraged the kids not to go outside and help shovel and play in the snow and read a book. And it wasn't just like a computer message going out saying no school today at Valley View. It was
personal.
It was
It was
a very
great.
and on Facebook we had dozens and dozens of comments from our families that were like they loved that personal connection. Is I really know my families now. I know what's going on in their homes. I know, I feel like I have really open communication with them. I can, call them for anything I need. Whereas before I might have been like, oh, I don't want to bother anybody. But just their willingness to be involved with their kids' education makes my job so much easier, and so that's great. And that the fact that they know what's going on in my classroom, it's easier to have a conversation. And there's no surprise calls about, if somebody's struggling with something, we're talking all the time, so we know it, they're friends, really. It's more of a community feel, and just the respect, I think, their respect for what we do and our respect for what they do at home has blossomed, I think. So another goal that we had set was parents had asked for better communication on a variety of topics, and the Parent Community Task Force sort of took that one over internally and put together a parent resource bulletin board right as you walk in the building, where most of our families wait to pick up their kids, or if they need to go to the office, they have to walk right by it. And it's got a bunch of information on it. Health things, like with the H1N1 virus, we had health information on there. There's information about the needs, special population needs, and resources for parents who have children with those needs. It has defining literacy. It has all kinds of stuff that, and the community resources that are available to support the families. So that has been terrific, and we have to replenish it a lot. So there's a lot of information that's getting out there through that.
We started a school newsletter that goes out on a weekly basis that communicates what's going on in classrooms, what's going on school-wide. So that's another tool that we're using.
Classroom newsletters too.
Right.
We've been encouraged by our principal, by the administration, to have a really close contact within the
Most of
homes.
us do a weekly,
Yes.
a
Yeah.
weekly
And
newsletter.
we work on trying to communicate to the community as well, because we understand that it's not just parents and the staff, but it's also our town that we also need to have them understand what we're doing so that they can
And we-
support us. So
with
we
the,
put that out in the banks.
And in Foster's, in the
Yeah.
newspaper. In the newspaper, we have a regular column every week in the local newspaper that highlights usually 2 or 3 of the individual classrooms. The teachers will do a write-up, and with the third graders, I have them working with me on it, what they want to share with the community. So it works out really nice.
This is our second grade communication notebook. It has a few different components to it. This calendar is a daily individual communication piece where we mark the color of the day and a quick comment. This can also be a parent can write a note in, or I could write a note home. There's plenty of space for us to do that individually between myself and the parent. Class communication, I usually put a newsletter and some of the reminders that need to go home. This is specifically for the class. Any school communication that is usually the lunch menu or the school calendar or things like that can always go into this section where it says keep at home, which also has corrected papers and things like that. And the return to school usually has their individual homework for the week. In the next piece, we have reading responses that the children do every week with their homework. And the first page is just some reading response starters for the communication notebook. They can, read books at home. Someone can read it to them. They could do it on their own. And these are just some ideas of how to start those responses. This is the communication notebook itself, where they do their communication responses. This is these stars just tell us what are the pieces of the response that we want. And as you can see here, I star what they have, the title, the author, the date, and a quick response. The last piece that we decided as second grade team was just a book log for at-home reading.
I found that her teacher is able to directly write me about her day, not only academically tell me how she's succeeding either in reading group or in math, if she's done well in a new lesson, or if she's done well helping another student, not socially as well. So I'm hearing not only about academics, but I'm hearing about her social piece. So it's been really great communication, and each night she brings it to me and she's excited to show me because she wants to tell me how well she's doing from her teacher, and she always knows her teacher's going to be honest with me, so she's very honest with me now, and we have something to talk about over dinner. So I know exactly what's happened that day, either in the reader's workshop, which I wouldn't have known about before, and she's able to use that language with me, and it's actually been stated in the communication notebook, so I knew what reader's workshop was as the parent, writer's workshop, and in the math games. She speaks about the math games often. which as a parent I wouldn't have understood what those were before, and now I do. So this has really informed me so we can have an enormous conversation about it.
I think, first of all, I've seen a couple of things happen. When you have teachers working on teams where they are engaged with parents, then they are able to learn from the parents as well about the school community culture that may exist that they may not really maybe fully understand. And it helps them to embrace that culture. And by doing that, they are able to understand a little bit better about what those identifiable patterns are in the home. And then that way, then they're able to reach out to those homes based upon the dialogues that they've been having with their families. And I also have seen where teachers then are able to redesign school report cards that support the curriculum of the home. For instance, I had one school that actually redesigned their whole school report card and not only sent communication to the parents through the school report card, but asked the parents to then grade the teachers' communication skills with them on the school report card, which I thought was very courageous and innovative.